What's going on, everyone? It's time for another horror slasher film review. Today we're going to continue on with the Friday the 13th franchise with Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Released by Paramount Pictures March 22nd, 1985. And it was written by Martin Chittrosser and David Cohen. It's produced by Timothy Silver and co-written and directed by Danny Steinman, who did films like Savage Streets, The Unseen, High Rise, and Hallucination Generation. This had a box office earnings of $21.9 million. So, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. The final chapter was such a success and fanfare was immense that they actually decided to continue with the franchise, because obviously you put final in the title, it's never the last one. So yeah, they had to bring them back. So they did this in somewhat of a clever way. So Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. You're with Tommy Jarvis, the kid from the fourth one, who's a little more grown up and has a lot of psycho problems from dealing with the Jason incident of the last film. And he is sent to this more psychiatric teen house thing to sort of solve it, where Jason appears to be coming and lurking and killing people at random. Yeah, so they kind of changed it a bit to the place at Crystal Lake, just it's in more of a town setting, farmhouse sort of setting. And yeah, so this one has the characters in this one are a mixed bag. There's a lot more comedy-ish stuff and drama styles put into the characters in this film. So you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. That's the best way to put it. I really like how they set up some of the red herrings in this. Like, there's this one anger management kid who's chopping wood and actually chops up a kid after he pisses him off. And then, yeah, which transpires everything. Sorry, I might spoil some of this. So if you haven't seen this movie, don't really watch this review because it's probably just going to come out at some point. So just warning you. But yeah, so yeah, but once it goes on, they really try to get you to think it's Tommy in this film, and it's not, obviously. It does have some cool things, and they do a really good job at keeping you guessing, is Jason back, or is this someone else? And you're kind of walking this line through the whole movie. And that. Now, they don't really show the kills in this film. You get a lot of aftermath shots, which look good and stuff, and there's some that look not too bad, but they really don't show it. They kind of shy away from it. This is more like a softcore sex porn movie. There's a lot of nudity, a lot of sex scenes in it, and overall, the kills aren't really inventive. They're kind of a little more realistic, I guess you could say. They're not over the top or anything. It's more how someone would actually kill someone in real life, mostly, and stuff. So it has that cool aspect to it, too. Now, I think the characters in this are pretty weak and stuff, and definitely has... so when like people get killed and stuff, there's not very many satisfying, except for the super annoying neighbors. Those ones were the best and most satisfying in it. And that I do like how they changed it up. They kind of went more like a Halloween 4 route with this one, and it made it look a little more interesting and different. They tried something new, which was cool. It's just that it didn't really work in some aspects, and it's very slow for the first while. And then once things pick up, but once they reveal the killing and what the actual outcome is, it kind of actually, they do a good job of bringing it full circle and stuff, but in the end, it's kind of like, a little bit of disappointment and stuff in that regard. So, yeah. But for what it is, it's an all-right movie. It's a good slasher film. It's a good standard slasher film. It doesn't even have to be in the woods. It's just a good standard slasher film where they basically just feed this to the crazy crowd that wanted more, and apparently still wanted more because there's still more to come. And so, yeah, but for what it is, I thought it was okay. It's definitely not the best or worst. It's in the middle ground, I think, of them. Well, this one so far is the worst. I know there's like one or two others that might be questionable, even worse than this. So, yeah, for what it is, it's still a decent slasher film. It's just another random entry into the Friday the 13th franchise. So I'm gonna give this film a 2.5 out of 5. It's decent popcorn flick material, but other than that, uh, 2, 4, and 6 are still way better. So yeah, which I'll be reviewing eventually. It's number 6. But yeah, so the 5th one is all right. So if you want to check it out, I'm not sure where it's actually streaming or anything. So I'll link the trailer down below at least so you can check that out. So make sure you check out my Instagram. That's linked down below. That's where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future. All my stories. You put the film title in there and some history thing in there as well. Also, make sure you check out my Letterbox. That's linked down below. Dirty reviews. That's where I post my first star rating after watching all the films. And also my Twitter's down below. Reviews underscore Derek. So follow me on those platforms. Stay in loop with this channel. Like this video, share it to more people, wherever. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any films or film franchise and any genre. And on any streaming service that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. Also, let me know what your favorite Friday the 13th film is down below as well. Yeah, also, what else? Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Hope friends and way to scare an odd day probably never thought of checking out together and also share my opinions on popular films, so come out classic films and reviews on other things as well. And yeah, don't forget to ring that bell because we're not actually going to do the next Friday the 13th yet because we're going to talk about some Netflix original sci-fi action film I checked out called Rim of the World in the next review. So make sure you tune in for that. Watch out for all those mock Jasons out there trying to kill everyone for revenge. And I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.